Hey guys, I'm doing a CNN 10 video just to bring you the news, and I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm just going to play this once it's over. I won't really do anything. It will end there. I'm not gonna switch it to Fillmore because I hate that and it sucks. So, daily news. I will do this Monday through Friday depending on if you like this.
Whether it's October 5th, 12th, 19th, or 26th, Fridays are awesome. I'm Carl Azus, delivering your Friday edition of CNN 10. This has not been a good week for the U.S. stock market. Monday and Tuesday, stocks were flat for the most part. There wasn't a huge change in closing prices for the Dow Jones Industrial Average of 30 significant stocks. But Wednesday, stocks took a dive, dropping nearly 832 points. And Thursday wasn't much better. The Dow closed down almost 546 points. So what are investors afraid of? What's causing them to sell their stocks, generating a drop in stock prices? The big factor is rising interest rates. If the U.S. economy grows too fast, so does the threat of inflation when prices rise and money buys less. The Federal Reserve, America's central bank, has a tool it can use to try to limit inflation. It can raise interest rates to slow down the economy. But one side effect of that is that higher interest rates make it more expensive for American consumers and businesses to borrow money. If they can borrow less, they tend to spend less. So companies on the stock market make less in profits and investors sell their stock. It's a connected chain of events. Wednesday was one of the U.S. stock market's worst days ever in terms of the number of points it lost.
Well, the U.S. market started the day lower and the losses only got worse. In the end, the Dow closed down more than 800 points, and that was its third worst points drop in history. The tech-dominated Nasdaq was the worst hit, down more than 4%, its worst day in over 2 years. Now, fears among investors have been rising in recent weeks, ironically, because of mounting evidence of the strength of the U.S. economy. We saw that reinforced again last week with news that U.S. unemployment was at its lowest level in nearly 50 years. Now, the problem with a strong economy is that it's leading to higher interest rates, higher bond yields, which affect everything from car loans to mortgage rates, and a potentially faster pace of rate rises from the Federal Reserve, which could raise borrowing costs for companies and hit earnings. Tech stocks were the worst hit. Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and especially Twitter, all sharply lower on the day. Now, these are seen as the riskiest stocks, and that means they're the first place that investors pull their money out of when interest rate fears are rising. And on top of that, with no signs of a breakthrough in the US-China trade war, investors are getting increasingly nervous about a slowing Chinese economy. That played out today in some of the luxury stocks that rely on the Chinese market.
Here's the Jackson County Emergency Operations Center, where I've been all morning, all day long. This is the building right next to us. As you can see, it's just demolished.
Half a mile or mile from our hotel, we came upon this, which was a gas station in a subway location, and you can just see that it has been destroyed.
The temperature is starting to drop a little bit tonight. There is no electricity in this area. It is going to be a cold and long, wet night in this part of the Florida Panhandle.
10-second trivia. Which of these space projects was first launched in 1967? The Space Shuttle Discovery, the Hubble Space Telescope, the Soyuz spacecraft, or the Mir Space Station? The answer, and one of the oldest rocket designs that's still being used, is the Soyuz. You don't hear a lot about emergency landings for astronauts, but one was made Thursday when a rocket booster failed during a Russian Soyuz launch. 2 men were aboard, a NASA astronaut and a Russian cosmonaut, and they launched from Kazakhstan at 4:40 in the morning. They were supposed to take 4 orbits of Earth over about 6 hours and then dock with the International Space Station for a 6-month stay. But something went wrong with the booster, and the decision was made to abort the launch and make the emergency landing. NASA says the Soyuz was able to get away from the problematic rocket booster, but the spacecraft had to make a ballistic descent. What that means is that it had to come down faster and at a sharper angle than it would have with a normal landing. Within minutes of the launch, the capsule landed about 250 miles away from where it took off. Russian and American officials say the 2 men aboard are safe and in good condition. The country's space agencies are planning a thorough investigation into what exactly went wrong. A program between Major League Soccer and the Special Olympics is giving a unique and remarkable opportunity to a number of athletes. 2 of them are the subjects of today's Positive Athlete Report. They're teammates on the Special Olympics Unified Sports Soccer team, and they're learning from each other as they play the world's most popular sport.
Just like Major League Soccer has its all-star game, Special Olympics Unified Sports has its all-star game. And so each of our MLS teams has sent 1 Special Olympics athlete, 1 unified partner, and a chaperone or coach to escort them to the game.
Special Olympics Unified is like an opportunity for kids with disabilities to play with kids without disabilities, because for kids with disabilities, there's like a lot of limitations for them out there. So it's just a better opportunity for us to play together, get to know each other, great friendships, and just have fun together. My sister is autistic, and she always did gymnastics, bowling, or track. And she did soccer, and they had a unified program. My mom convinced me to try it out, and I liked it, and I just stuck with it.
I like to have fun and have a good time. And I played bowling while I was in high school, and I play track and field while I was in high school. Then I do softball, basketball, and my first year of soccer this year for my all-star game.
There's so many things that I think everybody gets out of it. You know, there's the whole socialization aspect. They're here for a week. They're staying at the same hotel as the MLS All-Stars. They're being treated like professional athletes. Today they were able to shake hands and get autographs with them. And so there's that whole social aspect of it. There's the sport aspect of it. You know, they're being recognized for their training, for their dedication, for their skills, for playing on the field.
Coach Garza and Brad Gazan come to our practices, and they train with us, help us with the drills, and it just helps us become better at soccer.
At the end of the day, I'm probably the one learning more from them than they are from me. You know, they're absolutely so joyful with the ball at their feet, and that's what matters in life.
I mean, I see our unified team here at Atlanta United train quite a bit, you know, whenever they're on the other field. So it's something really cool to see, just the smile that they have when they meet us or when they're around us. It's special.
There he is, right in the middle. Can he get it there? Oh, again. Knocked down, still alive, and we've got the equalizer.
Before we sail off into the sunset this week, we're climbing aboard a type of boat that may float, but doesn't exactly glide through the water. These are pumpkin boats, part of a pumpkin festival in the state of Maine. They're said to be a lot of fun to sail, or at least sit in and try to paddle from A to B before you sink. They weigh a lot, they don't float well, they're hard to navigate, and they're described by one sailor as the worst boats there are. Still, some folks just gotta try. It takes a yacht skill to grow one and probably less to row one. Many folks fall in the wake, but even if the event is more flamboyant than just plain buoyant, winning in a pumpkin stems from the seeds of competition planted all in gourd fun. I'm Carl Azus. Hope you guys have a great weekend.
Well, guys, that was the end of that, so I hope you guys enjoyed that.